Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make a Lidl supermarket in Minecraft for all of your city building needs. Fun fact, I'm hidden somewhere in the intro of this video. Leave a comment down below letting me know if, where and when you spotted me. The first person to get it right will have their comment pinned. In this tutorial, not only will I show you how to make the entire outside of the build, but I will also show you how to make the entire inside as well, which includes the shop floor, the warehouse, staff room, toilets. I have also linked down below in the description the tutorials for each one of the 4 vehicles that I have used in this video. This is the amount of space required to make this build, a 43 block wide by 52 block long area as represented by this very handy grid on the screen. To find the starting position, begin at the front left hand corner of the grid, count to the right, find the 10th block and then count inwards towards the centre and find the 5th block. That is where we begin. And here are all of the materials that we will use throughout the build. Please do make sure that you have access to all of these. Begin the build by placing a brick on the ground. Then 3 smooth sandstone on top. 1, 2, 3. Then a light grey concrete on top. Extend to the right by 25. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. We then want to extend down to the ground using 3 sandstone and 1 brick, just like so. But then we want to continue extending backwards from the light grey concrete by 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Once again, we can extend down to the ground using our mixture of sandstone and bricks, but we also want to extend to the right by 6 using light grey concrete. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, where once again we will join down to the ground with the usual row of sandstone and bricks, and now we are going to extend backwards by 19. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, where I feel as though that I don't even have to tell you anymore. We place 3 sandstone followed by 1 brick. Next we are going to extend inwards by 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and we will extend down once again. Then we want to extend towards the back of the build by 13 with the light grey. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And then down again. Then we will extend across the back of the build with the light grey by 24. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. And then we will extend down once again. Now extending back towards the front of the build, we will place 10 light grey. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then we will extend down to the ground. Then we will extend to the right by 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then down to the ground using smooth sandstone and bricks. We then will extend towards the front of the build again by placing 17 light grey concrete. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. And then we will join down. And then we will extend inwards by 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we can just, once again, extend down. And all we have to do now is simply extend our light grey all the way to the front of the build, and we actually end up with this pretty interesting shape. Coming all the way back down to the front of the build, we are going to work on the entrance area. To begin, we will place an additional brick here to the right of where we first started, and then we will place a blue concrete behind. And then we will dig in the ground. Honestly, let's just dig all the way over to the right and join all the way to the equivalent position all the way over here. So just connecting diagonally to this brick, we can then place a brick to the left of this, a blue concrete behind, and now in the ground here, we want to place a row of 8 blue concrete. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We want to do the exact same thing, extending inwards from the opposite side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we can place a row of quartz bricks like this. And then we can extend these blue concrete rows, so left and right of the quartz bricks, up by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So just underneath the light grey. We can extend across and join down to the row that we have already placed. And we can even extend across the top here, down, and then we can extend across the top and down here. So we will have something which should look like this. We then have to split these areas in two, so we should be able to evenly divide these large areas on the left and right into rows of 3 by 3, which we then want to fill in with glass. So these are essentially just large windows. And this is where we will actually walk in. This is the entrance. So I'm using just 2 rows of glass pane extending inwards on both sides. And then we will divide this window up the same. And we will fill this in with a glass block. Here, where we have the bricks, we will extend up using smooth sandstone. And left and right of the actual entrance, we also want to have the bricks and smooth sandstone combo, extending all the way up just like this. And the end result of what we have just made is this. Next, we are going to connect the base of the supermarket walls together using a row of bricks. So, extending from the right of the front wall and all the way around, as I'm doing now, we just want to place a series of bricks until we get to the back. This is a bit different. On the back here, we will extend this brick inwards by 2, 1, 2, destroy a row of 2, 1, 2, replace those with andesite, and then place 2 bricks, 1, 2, and then behind and to the left here, we will place 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stone stairs. And then in front of and to the left of this, we will place bricks connecting back, just like so. Next, we will continue connecting the base of our walls together with our bricks. There is just one other notable point, which is on this wall here, where we will place 1, 2 bricks extending in this way. Destroy 1, 2 blocks, place quartz bricks here instead, and then just bricks extending to this wall. We will also extend bricks between here and here. Now that we have connected all of the exterior walls together, we now have to connect the interior walls together. Starting with the left side here, we will join this brick all the way backwards to make the room for the staff room / bathroom. And all the way over here, we connect this brick all the way over to the left to join to our brand new wall. And this separates the supermarket from the warehouse. So the floor plan looks like this. Our next job is to remove all of the grass from inside of the building. Then we can replace the warehouse floor with andesite, and the entire rest of the floor with quartz bricks. Next, we are going to fill in all of the walls. So, for the most part, the walls are almost all smooth sandstone. There's only a couple of exceptions. And by a couple, I'm pretty sure there's just one. We'll work on the exterior walls first. So the one exception that I'm thinking of is right here, this garage door. So all the way at the back, we stack these stone stairs, probably just all the way up to the light grey, and then we just continue on our way. Whenever we encounter a doorway, we just want to make sure that we leave enough space so that we can actually wander through it. But other than that, there's really not much more to it. So the exact same thing here, this is like the employee entrance, and we'll just make it so that we can place a door here later. And these are all of the exterior walls. We are now going to move inside and do the same to the interior. There should be doorways in and out of the various rooms that we have created, but we can just add those later. We do also want to continue placing light grey concrete on top of the walls as well. So once you've made the sandstone of the walls, if you just add a layer of light grey, just like this. Next, we have to add another layer of light grey concrete on top of our walls, so this applies everywhere. Once again, I think I'll just stick to the outer walls first and then just head inside afterwards. Next, we have to go all the way over to the right side of the build and join these light grey concretes here all the way to here. So we just extend them both out and they kind of just create a square like this. I'm going to fill the top of the square in here with light grey. Not that it really matters too much, you can use any material. And I'm going to join the corner down, so some smooth sandstone with a brick here. I'm wondering if bricks might actually be a nice material for the roof inside here as well, or whether it will look a little bit odd. Let's try. Okay, so the reason that we have done that is because we now have to start making the roof, and the roof is a little bit tricky to be quite honest. So, let's start all the way over here. We place a stone brick slab here, extending off the side of the build, extend forwards, and then we extend right and up, and we are trying to line up with the very middle of the build, and I'll let you know where that is. It's quite easy to identify. So, where the actual 2-block entrance is here, we can extend these two light grey concretes up from the entrance all the way up to the top, like so. That is where the peak of the roof is going to be. So we can extend these across, and then these blocks right and down. And we want to extend these to this position. So we can just extend them across like so. And this is where things get a little bit interesting, as from here we can start extending inwards and upwards again. And we have to find the middle, but it's not really easy to do. So at the same time that we extend from that side upwards, we also want to extend from this side upwards as well. And we want to meet somewhere in the middle. So if you just do both sides simultaneously, like this, the front and the back, we will eventually reach this point right here, which is perfect. I have just discovered that I have made a slight error. So I don't know how I've managed to do this, but the long and short of it is that this brick here, we should be able to extend it all the way back, right? And it should line up with the edge of the warehouse wall. But as you can see, it doesn't. So what that means is we just have to extend the warehouse wall one row outwards if you have the same error in your build. I don't know how this has managed to be achieved because nothing else is wrong with my build. It's actually kind of a mystery. So all you've got to do is just make sure that your wall lines up with the interior wall, and we just have to destroy the old wall, add an extra row of andesite inside of the warehouse, and everything is 100% perfect. So now, as you can see, that wall can continue straight and join to there if need be. Although there isn't an interior wall in here, so I can just remove that, but it's important for the roof. Anyway, let's get back to the roof. So we have made the outline of the roof on the front and the side. Now we can extend all the way along to the back and do the same thing. So the shape for the back of the roof is identical to the front. And the method that I'm using to actually just place it is identical to what we did for the side and the front as well, really. So I'm just extending from both ends, upwards and inwards, until roughly we're in the middle. And this is how I discovered the problem in the first place, because the roof didn't line up. That's perfect. So now that we've fixed the error, we have a perfect roof. It's symmetrical to the front. And now we can move around to the side. This side is not symmetrical. This is a smaller roof, and we can just extend these sides along like this. And now we can extend these slabs upwards and inwards, just like this. And eventually we will meet in the middle, just like so. So this is perfect. This might seem a little bit confusing, perhaps, but it's relatively easy to join all four of these roofs together. So let's start here. Every other one of these blocks will be a stone brick. We can connect these stone bricks together in kind of like a, I don't know what to call it, in kind of like a grid. It kind of reminds me of like a spider web or something, but we can essentially just extend all of these sides inwards, or all of these stone bricks inwards, and they all join together at kind of like a right angle. It's honestly quite satisfying. So this is an example of what like one corner of this will look like. So this is what I mean. Kind of satisfying, right? So we can just continue extending around, and I always like to extend from the bottom because I don't know, they're like shorter rows or smaller rows. I find that it's easier to just keep track of where we're placing these. So I'm just extending, once again, just the relevant sides inwards, and they just join together at a right angle. And the reason we are starting with the stone bricks is because it just makes it a lot easier to place the slabs afterwards. So, for instance, that's kind of like half of the roof done now, really. It's kind of an indescribable kind of shape. I think the spiderweb's sort of accurate. And now I'm just going to start extending this corner. So, because some of the... See, it's already a little bit weird. So, because some of the sides are smaller than others and they are different shapes, I think it's easiest to kind of just make all of the lower part of the roof just like this, and then we can work on the upper part of the roof. There'll be a big space left in the middle once we've kind of like done with all of these corner points. So that's another side done here. So now all we have to do is just connect these two parts together. So after a while, you'll kind of reach a certain point where all of the lower parts don't connect to the sides anymore, but the front and the back will. So there will still be some brick blocks left at the very top that will only connect forwards and backwards, eventually once you do reach this point. And like I said, it's a very weird looking thing once it's actually been done. It'll end up looking like this, but which looks kind of fancy actually. At this point, I would recommend heading inside of the build and adding all of the light grey concrete for the underparts of the roof, so we can just fill this in rather easily now before we've added a bunch of slabs. So just the front and the back, the sides. There will be parts almost on every single side where we just have to fill in these gaps. So the same over here as well. And here at the back. And on this side too. And you may have noticed that this also leaves some gaps on the interior walls as well. So we are going to add some light grey concrete here. And we can be a little bit more rough with this, but I do believe that that is about as much as we need to add for the inside. So that just separates the actual supermarket and the warehouse. And this is for the staff room, of course. And now that we have done this, I think that will do it. There's also, like, we just have to, like, fill this gap in here, but we don't have to fill all of the gaps in. We can work on the rest of it when we actually head inside. But this is, for the most part, the entire roof, minus the slabs. So next, all we have to do is just fill all of these gaps in the roof in using stone brick slabs. And in doing so, you will create a nice roof shape rather naturally. So now that the structure of the building is 99% complete, we are going to work on the rest of the outside. So we're going to start all the way over here. We will extend this brick all the way over to the left and line up with the edge of the building. And we will place some iron bars on top. We will also extend this brick here all the way to the back of the grid, and we will extend all the way across just like this. So we are going to line up with our other row of bricks. We want to leave a gap of 1, place a brick, and then we want to have a gap of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then have another brick. So essentially just we add an extra brick here, gap, brick here. And we will add bars on top of all of these bricks, just like so. And we will remove all of the grass from inside of this area. So now that we've kind of dug all of that out, we are going to place a row of smooth stone all the way along the inside of this back wall, leaving a gap where we have the garage door, where we will place a couple of rows of cyan terracotta, just like this. And we can actually fill the majority of this space in with cyan terracotta. This is basically just like a loading bay or a deloading bay for the trucks. This is where all of the produce, all of the products get dropped off, thrown in the warehouse, and then get stacked onto the shelves of Lidl. So it really doesn't have to be that fancy back here. It is effectively just a giant lorry car park. And then as we get outside here, we can continue extending the cyan, and then we can add a bit of smooth stone either side here. And just so that the iron bars look a little bit less scruffy, let's add a couple of polished tuff like this. And then if you want, you can kind of give the appearance that like there is actually like an electronic gate or something here if you want, or at the very least a gate, and you can leave that open or closed if you so choose. Moving on to this point here, we are going to place a row of oak leaves against the shop, and then we are going to remove all of the grass and grid from this area. We'll remove it all the way up to the front wall. So when I say front wall, we'll just do to about here. And this area here is a car park. So we'll have some smooth stone here. And then we will just add a row of cyan terracotta here. But we will place 1, 2, 3 yellow carpet, gap, 1, 2, 3 yellow carpet, gap, 1, 2, 3 yellow carpet. And then we really should have white concrete powder in between these. And the concrete powder extends out as far as the side of the shop here. And then we are just able to fill the rest of this space in using cyan terracotta. So this is part of the employee parking, or just regular parking. You can add a giant car park to this if you like as well. Speaking of parking, let's move all the way over onto the other side now, and we can actually remove all of this area. So we'll remove all the way up the side of the build, and we will stop probably at the front wall again, actually. So we'll remove all of these blocks, extending all the way up to, let's say, about here, because there are just 2 lots of car parking spaces on this side of the build. So we can add a row of smooth stone, hugging the building all the way from here, all the way around to here, and we want a double row of smooth stone, just like this, extending all the way back, just like so. You know what actually might look better is if we add another layer of smooth stone to both that side and this side, and we can even add a couple of rows here. Then, if we add a row of cyan terracotta along here and place 1, 2, 3 yellow carpet gap, 1, 2, 3 gap, 1, 2, 3 gap, 1, 2, 3 gap, we have a perfect set of car parking spaces. And then we can just place white concrete powder in between these, just like so, and they line up with the building rather nicely, and we can just fill all of these gaps in using cyan terracotta. And I think that that's just a really nice clean way of doing it. We can then move to the front here, where we can do a similar-ish sort of thing. So we'll place a row of cyan terracotta, so that we can kind of figure out the car parking situation. So 1, 2, 3 yellow carpet gap, 1, 2, 3 gap, and then we can't really afford any more. So I think that we'll just exchange these for smooth stone, which we will extend to the end here. And we will place white concrete powder in between here and extend forwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then, yeah, I think that that's nice. And then we can just add some cyan terracotta for the actual road material here, which then leads us to the front of the build, where we now have to remove all of the remaining grass and grid. And this is actually the last of it around the entire build. So anywhere that you do just see any grass or grid remaining, we are just going to remove it and replace it. In this case with smooth stone, and this is just everywhere now. Next, we are going to add some trolleys underneath the trolley shelter here. So, just in this corner, we'll place a cauldron, iron bar, cauldron, iron bar, cauldron. And we can extend the iron bars, I think to about here is good. And then you can add just as many cauldrons as you like. So these are just trolleys or shopping carts, if you like. And let's call them trolleys. And we can just add some open fence gates to the ends of these. So I'm just going for warped fence, just because of course the colour scheme matches, but any will do. And we also want a painting here. So I think that it'll fit nicely. Maybe we'll place it on the lower part of the wall. I'm basically looking for that one right there. That is absolutely perfect. So I wanted that painting right there, just above the trolleys, and that is perfect. You know what, I can't help but think that pale oak fence gate will look better than warped fence gates. I was going to leave it alone, but I just couldn't. So now that we have done that, we can wander all the way over to here, and I'm just going to make a bus stop. So the bus stop is going to sit basically like from the middle of this window. We'll leave a gap of 1, stone brick wall, gap of 1, stone brick wall, then gap of 1 here, stone brick wall, gap of 1, stone brick wall. We will raise the walls up each by 2, and we will place 2 light blue stained glass pane, joining all of them together. Then we will add a bench / seat by placing just 3 spruce trapdoors here, flip down. And then we will place string in between all of the walls here, across here. And then we will place green carpet on top like this. Add another row of string, some more green carpet, and there you go. That's a bus shelter. Next, we just want to add a bin to the right of the shelter. So we'll leave a gap of 1 here, cauldron, flipped up or down oak trapdoor to the right of it, and there we go, simple bin. Then slightly over to the right, we will place a polished tuff wall here, and here, just like so. Now, before we continue, we have to make some signs. We'll throw down a loom, open it up. We are literally just going to write out the word Lidl, which is also kind of just the logo as well. So, yellow banner in there with blue dye. We have to make an L. This is the pale Dexter pattern, followed by the base pattern. Next is I, but this is made using red letters. So, red dye in there, pale pattern, that's just the I. And then we have to make D, which we need the blue dye back in for. So, that's the pale sinister pattern. Yellow dye, lozenge, blue dye back in, chief, base, and pale Dexter. And then now we have to make another L, but this time it's blue. So pale Dexter and base. So there we have Lidl. But we can't use these banners straight away. On the front of the build here, we will place a row of blue concrete. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, just like this. And then we'll extend the sides up, 1, 2, 3, and extend across and down in a rectangle with yellow concrete inside. Then we will have L, I, D, L, just like this, so Lidl. And not only do we want that on this side, we also want it on this side as well. So we kind of have to find the middle of the wall here, which is quite easy because we can use the roof. And we just want another row of 6, which we can extend up by 3 either side. Yellow concrete in the middle, and then we can just add banners to it, just like so. And that's perfect. And if you feel inclined to want to add it to the back as well, you can, because it is a little bit blank on the back without it. And we've went to the trouble to make all of these banners, so I don't see why we shouldn't just keep spamming them everywhere. So we can place it there as well. And you could probably, I haven't tried, you could probably fit it here, but it just seems ill-fitting for some reason. And there you go. And believe it or not, once you've done that, that's pretty much the entire outside of the build. With that final detail added, we have officially completed the outside of Lidl. But now it's time to head inside and work on the interior. The first thing that we will add inside of the supermarket is shelves. Come all the way over to the front left-hand corner of the build and leave a gap of 1 from this blue concrete. Place a smooth quartz block, and to the right of it, 3 white concrete, 1, 2, 3, and then a smooth quartz block, 3 white concrete, 1, 2, 3, then a smooth quartz, then leave a gap of 3, 1, 2, 3, and place a smooth quartz, 3 white concrete, 1, 2, 3, smooth quartz, 3 white concrete, 1, 2, 3, and then a smooth quartz. We now have to extend across this back wall. So we actually want to find the 6th block, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and here is where we will place a smooth quartz, and then 3 white concrete, 1, 2, 3, smooth quartz, 3 white concrete, 1, 2, 3, and then a smooth quartz. Then we're going to do something a little bit different. We'll leave a gap of 1, and then we'll place 2 stripped spruce wood, and then we'll leave a gap of 2, 1, 2, and then 2 stripped spruce wood, 1, 2. Okay, so we'll turn our attention to these later, but for all of the white concrete / smooth quartz areas, we will extend the smooth quartz blocks forward, and we will add upside down smooth quartz stairs in between them all. So just like this. Perfect. From here, we will extend the smooth quartz blocks each up by 2 rows. And in addition to this, we will extend up the white concrete as well. So we're just going to do this to each one of these shelving units before we customize them further. Okay, so now that we have done that, we are going to place sea lanterns on top of the white concrete. Then we are going to choose a colour for each one of these. So this one at the front, I'm going to place green concrete all in between, just like this. I'm going to then place blue concrete for the second one, just all in between the sea lanterns around the top, filling in all of the empty space. And then lastly, I'm going to place orange for this one. So they're all nicely colour-coded. Then we will add iron trapdoors to each one of these, just like so, dividing them in half. We're placing the trapdoors so that we can place something on top of the trapdoors. These will be item frames, but we'll actually focus on that later. So far, this is what we should have. Next, we will come back to the stripped spruce wood. So, we are actually going to remove the 3 rows of smooth sandstone in the wall behind the stripped spruce, and we are going to replace those blocks with bookshelves. We are now going to turn these into shelving units by cladding the sides of the spruce with spruce trapdoors like this, and we're just going to install shelves like so. So these aren't anything specific, these are just handy dandy shelves that we can just place. They're kind of like a generic sort of shelving unit, and this is kind of tricky to place without having something to stand on. So I'm just going to do that, and then we can add these in. And that's perfect. Next, we are going to make a different type of shelving unit completely. This is for fresh produce, and we will come all the way over to this position. And we want to leave a gap of 3 in between the ends of these 2 shelves, 1, 2, 3, and then place a row of 3 oak planks, 1, 2, 3, extending inwards towards the centre. And we'll do this extending from both of the units. We will then take the middle block and extend outwards by 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we'll extend the 4th block either way. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then either way, just like this. We then want to extend the ends of these 1 row up, and we want to add oak hanging signs in between the 2 sides with dirt in between, then spruce trapdoors flipped up aside the dirt, these might look a little bit weird now, but they'll look a lot better once we decorate them later. Now we are going to make a different type of unit again, so leaving a gap of 2 from this trapdoor here, 1, 2, we want to place a hay bale, and we want to extend this way, 1, 2, place a row of bookshelves on the opposite side, hay bales here, bookshelves here, and then we are going to clad the entire bottom of this with spruce trapdoors, and then just the sides here with spruce trapdoors as well. And I am contemplating adding a little bit of blue carpet just across the top of this. Initially, it was spruce trapdoor, but I'm trying to implement a bit of blue. I was considering the same thing here, like, would it look a bit tacky to add more and more blue carpet? I don't know. I'm going to try it out. We'll see. Next, we are going to come to this back shelf here, and we will leave a gap of 2, 1, 2, and then we'll place 3, 1, 2, 3, stone, brick wall. We'll extend the middle block this way, 1, 2, 3, with the light grey concrete, brick wall on the end, and then we'll just extend it outwards. Extend the wall up, just like this, in between and across, and then either stone stairs like this, or alternatively maybe some iron trapdoors. Again, I'm just trying to go for like a nice variety of different kinds of shelves to stack different things on. I think it's a bit more interesting than just the repetitive bookshelves. Now let's make some boring bookshelves. So we want to leave a gap of 2 from the previous unit that we've just made, so 1, 2, and then we want to place a row of bookshelves that are equal in length to, well, everything that we've just made in this row, really. We then leave a gap of 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we do the same thing, so just like this. And I'm considering adding some oak signs to the sides here, because I think that might look a bit interesting. And then maybe some blue carpet across the top, because once again I'm trying to kind of like tie a colour scheme together here, and I don't think that looks too bad. Next we will place 2 polished black stone wall, extending up just either side of the inside of the door here, with beacons on top of the wall. This wall is kind of handy, as we can leave a gap of 1, and then place an end rod here, blue carpet on top, light grey concrete here, extend this way, 1, 2, then in this way, smooth quartz stair here, 1 by 1 painting here, I'm using the same one every time, and then a detector rail here. I'm then just going to leave a gap of 1 and then make literally the exact same thing, so 1, 2, 3, light grey concrete, rail here, stair, painting, and then just blue carpet on top of the end rod here, just super simple till area. I'm then going to leave a gap of 2 from these tills and then make another identical set of tills. So they're literally, I'm just going to quick make them, they're literally the exact same thing, it's just repeat, repeat, repeat. I'm using the same painting as well because it's just a nice 1 by 1, it's just easy to grab, and there we go, that's perfect, and plus I like the colours as well. Which leads us onto this area. Next, we have some self-checkouts to add. So, starting here on this wall, we will place a chest, and then 3 light grey concrete, 1, 2, 3. Stone button here, light grey banner here, stone stair here, item frame here, 1 by 1 painting here, just pick your favourite, and then a polished blackstone pressure plate here. We will then leave a gap of 1, and then we'll make almost the same thing, so we'll place 1, 2, 3 light grey concrete and then a chest this time, so they're at opposite ends from each other, but then everything else is literally the same, so we can just quickly make that, and we only have 2 of these in total. Next we have to make the bakery area. First of all, we extend this brick all the way to this chest, join it to this wall, and then we can fill this in with smooth sandstone and light grey. We basically just want to extend the wall and create basically just a fake wall, really. So now that we've done that, we want to place 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, stripped oak wood like this, gap of 2, and then stripped oak wood. We extend this up, 1, 2, 3, 4, up to the light grey, and then we will actually extend all the way across this way to give us this, and we will extend the stripped oak wood on the side all the way up, just like so. That's perfect. And here we will place a polished blackstone wall, leave a gap of 2, wall, gap of 2, wall, gap of 2, wall, and we will extend the walls upwards, just like this, and we will add light grey concrete behind all of these, and then actually we'll add 2 rows of light grey, and then we will extend grey concrete backwards from each of the polished blackstone wall, and we will place glass pane joining the back row of grey concretes together, and we will add iron trapdoors here like this, and then we will add a glass pane across the front, but we'll leave a gap. Then we will place string on top of the iron trapdoors, and here I don't know whether it would be smarter to do this first, actually. Okay, probably. So the point of this, or all of these, this is where we have like fresh bakery products, so cakes and different breads and whatever stuff you might expect to find. So it may be easier to first add the item frames, and then the string, and then the black carpet across the top. It may even be that we should have added something to the item frames first, perhaps, but I'm actually not too sure about that. We'll just find out later. If we have to remove the string, it's not that big of a deal, but we'll just see. But we'll end up with this quite nice looking display case. Hidden behind these display cases are a bunch of ovens in which we can cook all of these things. So in the corner, we will place 1, 2, 3 light grey concrete like this. And then we're just going to place 2 upside down stone stairs extending right, light grey concrete, 2 stair, light grey, 2 stair, light grey. We'll extend the light grey down to the ground, and then we will fill in between all of this in with furnaces. Then some spruce trapdoors for shelving just off to the left, and then we are going to place stripped oak wood for the ceiling inside of here. And I'm contemplating having the outside match like this. And that does not look too bad whatsoever. And now, if we take a look, we have pretty much everything that we need, minus the individual items on the shelves. So from here, we are going to add a bunch of item frames into all of the necessary shelving units, starting with the fridges. So these are all of the white ones, like this. And we are also going to add them here as well, and here, and that might be it. Unless you actually wanted to add them here and here. Okay. That's not looking too bad. So, now we can stock all of these with whatever you deem appropriate. So this first fridge here, I'm just stacking with a bunch of different like fruits and vegetables and berries and whatever. This one, I'm just sticking a bunch of mushrooms. These here actually don't need the item frames along the top. So I was kind of thinking this could be like milk. So, like a bunch of like red milk, green milk, and blue milk, and then we can just actually have like the milk here. I did contemplate copying this, or maybe we can just have a bunch of fish in this one. Like, obviously you can change these to suit your own likes. And then we have this one here, so we can just stock this with different kinds of... I actually need another kind of meat here, so those are nicely stocked. This here, I'm thinking can be, I was about to call it soda. I feel so American right now. This is like a pop, like a soft drink aisle. And I'm just placing a bunch of candles to represent like actual cans and bottles. And in the item frames, just a bunch of different potions to hopefully kind of like reiterate what those might be. I do wonder whether like replacing underneath, like here, would look okay as well. And then that way, we could even actually have, like, more item frames. So we could have more item frames, and in those we could place either, like, more candles and stuff, or we could place some different bottles, aka potions. But, I don't know. Either way, I think that does look a little bit better, to be quite honest. Next, the fresh produce. Here we will just hoe the dirt and place whatever in there. So I'm going for a mix of wheat, beetroot, carrots, and potatoes, but you can do whatever. There we go. And then on the ends of these shelves, I'm going to stack a 2x2 square of melon here and add some oak trapdoor around these. I'm just going to chuck some pickles on top. And then all the way over here, I'm going to do the same thing with pumpkins, so just a 2x2 square. I'm not sure it made sense to add the pickle to the top of the melons, to be honest, but it kind of also does. I suppose that could be like the actual like stem of the melon if it still had one, but you can also remove them as well. This area here, we are just going to place eggs inside of these. So hence why we have the hay. I'm not sure it really makes sense, but I like how it looks regardless. So that just means that we have to fill up the bakery, and we can do this with... We only have 3 different sections here, so unless we wanted to like add cakes... Nah, hang on. Yeah, I guess we do have to remove... It's okay, that's fine. I guess that we do have to remove some of these, so I'll tell you what I'll actually do is I'll just remove like one of the item frames from the top, and then I'll add a cake, and then... Alright, you know what? That's not too bad. Maybe we can remove a couple of pieces of cake like this, and then can we add... Okay, we can add a carpet on top of the cake, and then that just means that I've just got to grab a string, and I can fix the front of the cabinets like this, and I think that this will look... I think I just ate some of that cake. No! It doesn't look right now. Okay, that's better. So this is the supermarket floor, pretty much complete. The only thing is the ceiling is an absolute mess, and we've got to fix it before we move on. So on the front of the build here, we can place a series of stone brick slabs extending up the front of the build, kind of like this, right? And we can create a fake ceiling inside of the build, and it'll end up looking like this. Now, every other one of these blocks, let me find the right one, there we go. Every other one of these blocks are, of course, stone brick. I'm going to make the exact same thing on the back just to expedite this process. So we'll have to extend this too. I'm pretty sure that that matches the front. It does, perfect. So now we can just kind of like flow back and forth from the front to the back, and we can just place all of these stone bricks. And of course, once we've placed the stone bricks, we can just place slabs in between them, and that will just give us a really nice smooth finish to the actual ceiling. And it'll make it feel a bit cozier in here, actually. Who doesn't love a good cozy shop at Lidl? So that's perfect. So now all we have to do is add these. I guess that first row is kind of redundant, right? Like, do we add an extra row here underneath so that it extends all the way like this, or does it look better this way? Yeah, I tend to think actually that an extra row of the slab actually looks really nice and clean, I think. So that's, yeah, we'll just add an extra row of slabs just at the bottom, and then that way the roof gradiates nicely, and it actually adds like a little bit more of depth, I think, to like around the outside of the build. I think it actually like encloses things in a little bit, makes it look a little bit cleaner. Of course, if you wanted to, you could just stick a flat roof on this thing and then it'd be far less complicated. But it seems a shame to waste like a really nice roof shape by just making it flat. So this is what the roof looks like. I think that this is just such a massive improvement. It feels so much better in here now. And now that we have actually made like the main floor of the supermarket, we are going to head into the warehouse. So the warehouse is all the way back here. So in between these shelves, we have a sneaky little entrance / exit, which will just have a double spruce door here to take us to. We'll have the same thing here as well. So we'll just have a double spruce door at the back. We have to add an additional wall, like along the back here. So it kind of just encloses in the garage. And let's take a look at the ceiling. The ceiling actually isn't half bad in here. I think we might just have to add a layer of slabs, which, I mean, we may even do, like, right now, since we're kind of, like, in ceiling mode. But we're just extending the light grey concrete up now. I am even considering kind of like leaving it as it is, because this is a warehouse. It wouldn't be quite as refined as the actual like main ceiling, so we'll leave it like this for now. See if we fancy changing it. Next to the garage door, we will have a light grey concrete, leather, and then just some iron bars leading up like this. On the side walls here, we want some just like empty shelves, or you can fill them up if you like, but we'll have a couple of stripped spruce here, then leave a gap of 1, 2, 3, a couple of stripped spruce, and then we stack up some trapdoors left and right like this. So rows of 3 spruce trapdoors, 1, 2, 3. And then we will place... We could make these higher, so the only reason I didn't was because I guess I didn't feel like making a platform, but I'm doing it now, so I did it regardless. And now I've just made the most mess possible, but I just want these a bit higher, that's all. So up to the top here. Because I would like to stock them with something, at least at the very bottom. So like I want to place the shelves in such a way that we can place something here and on top if you like as well. So you could either, well, it's up to you, right? So you could have it so you can place something on this shelf and then here, and then the shelf has to look like this, or you can have the shelf look like this. Like it's up to you, like it's one of the two. We either place something here or we place something here or here and here. So, you know, this one looks a little bit cleaner. In my opinion, this one looks a little bit too busy. I think this is my preference. Now, along this back wall, we already have some bookshelves, and we are basically just going to make the exact same shelves as we have on the opposite side of the wall. So if you may remember, we just flip up, I guess, 4 sets of spruce trapdoors. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. Up the side here, and 1, 2, 3... No, I can't really do it, so... 1, 2, 3... I feel as though there's an easier way to do this that I'm just not doing. But, come on. There we go, nice. And then we will, of course, just have a bunch of shelves. Like, these bookshelves, or these shelves, don't really have to have anything on them. So I actually want them to extend across the top, and then... There we go. That's how I want them to look. And then here, and then I'll actually be able to place one against here. That's easier. And then just like this. That's perfect. And then, leaving gaps of 3 from these, so like 1, 2, 3, we'll flip up a trapdoor, and then 1, 2, 3, trapdoor. And then we'll leave gaps of 2, and then we'll flip up some more trapdoors. And we actually want these trapdoors to be 3 high this time, which is convenient because that's as high as I can place them without having to place other blocks. And inevitably we will flip these up to create a set of shelves. So we'll flip them up like this. That's perfect. And then we can just add, and once again, like if you, it depends how you want to place these. I like how these look, and then you can stick something on the shelves later if you so choose. And then once again, we'll just leave it like a gap of 3, and then we want basically the exact same thing here. So 1, 2, 3. Perfect, so we just have a bunch of shelves like this. And then I'm going to have a forklift here, but we'll talk more about that later. And it's kind of up to you where you want to go from here. So obviously on these shelves you can stack item frames with different things in them if you want. Alternatively, you can stick like tables and item frames and different things. Just chests might look good as well. You can create these crates by placing a bunch of, okay, this is a long one, wax oxidized copper trapdoors on the floor like this and kind of like connect them together in a ring, or you can make them a bit smaller like this and knock the bottom out and place them like dark prismarine, and you can like fill these up with like different things as well. So like these are the actual like raw produce or products that are like delivered, so they can get like thrown into here and then like actually distributed onto the shelves, or maybe they're then thrown on these shelves or whatever. So you could have a bunch of these lying about. You could have some empty pallets in the form of campfires kind of stacked together like this if you wanted to. That's also perfectly acceptable. But as I mentioned, I've got a rather large forklift in here, so stacking the shelves with a few different things and adding a couple of little bits of detail like this is actually just fine. It's going to be quite busy in here with the forklift. As a matter of fact, let's add it now. So I actually have a tutorial for my forklift, which I will leave linked down below in the description. So if you do want to add this, it is 100% like your choice if you would like to go to the trouble of going into the description, clicking the link, and then making this and adding it into the warehouse. I will say that it is 100% worth it. And if you are a channel member and you do use World Edit, or if you use Litematica to add these builds into your world, then you can quite easily just do what I've just done, which is just to load up the actual forklift from the schematic file and then just move it at your leisure. And there we go. That looks pretty good to me. I think I'm just going to shift these over one row, and I think that will do rather nicely. So as you can see, now I think that I'm pretty happy with how it looks in here. I think it's sufficiently stocked. The last part of the build that we have to make is the staff room, which is located all the way back on the main shop floor. In between these two shelves, we dig into this wall, and we actually have to just replace that block there. So we have a spruce door that leads us in between here, and this is the staff room. So we leave a gap of 1 here from this wall, and we place 2 red concrete, which we stack up 3 rows high. We then leave a gap of 1, and then we have 2 by 3 rows of blue concrete. Leave a gap of 1, and we place 2 spruce, 2 let's try that again. 2 smooth quartz stairs. I could not get the name of one of my favourite materials right. And then we place end rods on the opposite side of the stairs, and then another set of stairs like this. And then across the back here, we're just going to section this off by placing a row of bricks with smooth sandstone on top. And then we're just going to place light grey concrete extending up. So this is one of the few rooms where I think I might actually just like change the ceiling shape. So I think that I'll move it into something like this. I'll just make it a flat ceiling, just so that it's a bit different from everywhere else. Like the main shop floor has like a really nice ceiling. The warehouse, it's kind of similar, but it's like a nice high ceiling, but it's less refined. And I think for this area here, we're just gonna have like bare bones. So nice flat ceiling. We have to create a walkway into this room, and then we are just going to turn the ceiling flat here as well. So this is just like 1 row above the light grey concrete, just like this, and spruce door here. And we can actually, so this is meant to be like a little employee car park, as is kind of like that side as well. So this is just like an employee entrance. I did also consider adding a window here as well, just so it looks a little bit nicer, something like this, I think. Then we could add some like stairs across the top here or something. I think that that's just fine. Maybe a button here. And inside of this room, so these are vending machines, and we're just going to add item frames here with stone buttons here, just to keep them nice and simple. In addition to this, we want a bunch of seating on the opposite side here as well. Like, this is just like a really simple sort of like staff room. It's literally just for like people to just like chill and eat their lunch. I don't know whether to place like a... Nah, I think I'll leave this as it is. Or maybe we could have like a little TV. So like maybe like a really old-fashioned TV. Like something like this. Just kind of like in the corner on a unit. And these vending machines, this one I'm just going to put random potions in. This one's more like a coffee machine. Like, so do feel free to add food inside of these as well. I'm also just going to add some paintings to the wall. So just some 1x1s. Like this, and one here as well. So of course I get a repeat out of all of the paintings. That's not bad. And then we can just have one here too. You can add more windows as well, which is fine if you'd like. And we can just add some table toppers. But like I said, like this is... There's really not too much going on here. You could even add like a bin somewhere as well, which would of course just be a cauldron and a trapdoor. So either like in between these or maybe like in the corner. But I think that this is pretty much fine. And all the way over here, this is where some toilets are. So in here, we will split this wall with 3 rows of 2 or 2 rows of 3 light grey concrete. Upside down, smooth quartz stair here. Spruce trapdoor on top, flower pots here, item frames here, stone button on the walls with flipped down white banners here, and then just doors in front. Nice and simple. And then on this opposite wall here, we will have 1, 2, 3 light grey concrete just in this corner, or maybe we'll have it like right in the middle here, and then like a flower pot here, stone button here, then smooth quartz stair here, item frame here, lever pointed down here, loom, light blue banner, white dye, then gradient effect, anyone will do, bend effect, anyone will do, black dye in there, add the board drawer effect, just like that. You can even stick some a candle, just the regular candle I think looks nice, like this, just on the side here. And this is pretty much it, a nice bog standard toilet. And you could add a window into this if you're feeling a bit... I mean, it doesn't really make sense to have a window in a toilet necessarily, although I suppose you can't really... Like, it's not into the stall, so I think it's fine. I have just a couple more recommendations for you. I would highly recommend adding, at the very least, a lorry to the build. So, once again, I have a tutorial for the lorry, which you can just find, linked down below in the description. It's actually super quick to make as well. Like, this won't take you very much time at all. Like, if you are placing the lorry back here, I'd probably place it like this, kind of like in the middle of this area. You could even like rebrand it to say like a Lidl lorry, which would be quite easily done by just like replacing like the orange terracotta that this one is for like blue concrete or something like that. That would look nice. And you could even stick Lidl on it if you wanted to. So I'm missing the L on top. No, I'm not. I had a little malfunction then, but you could like stick Lidl on the lorry if you wanted to, and I think that would look pretty good. And not only that, it's always nice to see cars in the car park, so I'm going to add a few of them, even though they are like super quick and easy to make. I do of course have a tutorial for the car, once again linked down below in the description, but also you can probably just make it super quick just by looking at this car right here. Another variation is to like take this and instead of the trapdoors to use buttons. So it does depend which you prefer. I actually like both of them, and oftentimes either item frames or glow item frames look good as well. So I'll add a few of these into the car park, maybe just like, I might just do like one in each car park. So this one I'm thinking maybe we will make yellow. What's funny with some of these commands is it's actually faster just to like replace it yourself rather than type it all out. And this one I'm thinking we will make blue. Oh, something that I've literally just thought about right now is if you were, say, placing Lidl on like a main road or placing a road against Lidl, we do have this bus shelter. And guess who has designs for like, I don't know, 3 different buses? This guy right here. My favourite, of course, being this one, the good old double-decker. Also a respectable chocolate bar, if you ask me. And maybe we can just place it just like off to the side here. I think that would look pretty good. But I actually do have a few different styles of buses if this one isn't doing it for you. I'll once again leave them linked down below in the description. With that final detail added, ladies and gentlemen, we have officially completed this tutorial. However, this video is not over. We must now add Lidl into our city. I really wanted to place this build in the new modern suburbs, but it just doesn't fit the vibe here for some reason. So instead, we are going to place it in the new suburban suburbs, and we're going to put it right here. I think they'll fit in nicely. It'll help to bridge the gap between the kind of like new part of the suburbs and the older part of the new suburban suburbs. You may be interested in becoming a channel member. You can click the join button that will be somewhere on the screen right now. This does cost money and is a monthly subscription, but you do get some perks. The first of which is a download link for my city design world. This has every single build that I have placed in my city, arranged in order, and labelled. This perk also comes with schematics for the mods Lightmatica and World Edit, so you can easily reference and copy and paste these builds into your worlds in any way that you'd like. However, if you're not interested in any of that building business, the highest tier allows you to download the most current version of MiniCity. There are also some minor perks, including loyalty badges displayed next to your name whenever you comment something down below on my videos. Depending on how long you have been a channel member, you gain a more prestigious helmet, with the highly coveted gold builder's hat being the most valuable. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Goodbye.